So most people think that if a billionaire is walking by and sees $100 on the floor, they won't bother to bend over and pick it up because they'll have made more money in that time than if they had just kept walking. Most people also don't know what they're talking about most of the time, so it's probably not a great idea to listen to them. Because majority of people are on a salary or service-based payment structure, so they think that's how the wealthy do it too, but that's far from the truth. In this video, we'll dive into how the wealthy accumulate riches, stay rich, use their money paying minimal taxes, and keep their wealth in the family for generations. Well, how do they do it? So look, it's a broad idea. It's actually quite simple. They buy assets, borrow against those assets, then they do that till they die and pass on everything to their children. And the cycle goes on and on and on. If you compare this to regular folk, this is how it normally goes. You get paid a salary or commissions from a service-based business, which is usually heavily taxed from the beginning. Then you might go and invest that into an asset which grows in value over time and or pays you some yield along the way, like for example, a rental property. Then when you want to use that money, you go ahead and sell off that asset or a portion of it and pay heavy taxes again on any capital gains. Then you use that money for whatever you wanted to spend on. You just paid a heavy tax twice, both at the beginning and at the end, and had to let go of ownership of that appreciating asset. And now if you or your kids wanted to accumulate wealth, it becomes that much more difficult as the asset keeps growing in value while you're out of the game. So now let's break it down to how the rich do it. First things first, most rich people accumulate and prioritize ownership over assets. The wealthy are busy being producers while most of us are busy being consumers. So that's the first thing. You need to become a producer. And the most common way they do that is by starting or having equity in a business that provides value. This could be either starting their own business or buying equity in a business, for example, buying stocks or shares. Now, this ownership that they've got in this income producing asset allows them to go to a bank and ask for a loan, putting up a portion or all of their equity in that business as collateral against that loan. So in simple terms, they might go to the bank and say, hey, look, my business is worth $1 million. Can you give me a loan of $200,000? And if I don't pay the loan back with your agreed terms, you can take this percentage of my business. It goes something like that. Now, the bank lends completely tax-free because debt itself is tax-free. So now the person just got a loan of $200K to spend on and live without having to pay any tax at all. How nuts is that? Now, if you compare that to someone who might earn from a salary $200,000, depending on where you live, you'll probably end up with net $110 to $150K after taxes, which is insane when you compare the two. Now, but remember, when you borrow money, you've got to pay the bank's interest rate. But also keep in mind that you have a business, and now let's say the bank is charging you a 5 or 6, 7% interest rate, but your business is growing at a rate of 10 to 20% a year. So what do? You sell off a little bit of your equity and pay down the interest for the year or time period agreed upon. And you can just keep rinsing and repeating for as long as you want if your collateral is also going up in value. I know that must be a lot to take in, and some of you are probably wondering that no way is it simple, but it really is. Those are actually all the basics. We haven't even gotten into all the complex wealth distribution channels and structures and entities that the wealthy use, and regular folk don't even know that they exist. It's a crazy world, but the one thing that will save our finances is financial literacy. I hope you've enjoyed and taken away something from this video. Please leave a comment with what assets you might soon be borrowing against. Leave us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more to come, and I'll see you in the next video.